The best speech you'll ever hear. Who this guy thinks he is? 18 minutes later, I took the best decision of my life, going vegan. You just have one life and do what you love. If you want to fight for animals, do it. Now, go out there and fight for them. You just have one life. You have to enjoy it and spend your time doing what you want. So today I'm going to talk about the importance of youth in the animal liberation movement, which I think we should bring more topic about that, because we don't give the importance that we should give to the youth, that we should give to the future. So first of all, I want to present myself. My name is Massin, as Martin said. I'm originally from the north of Africa, from the Reef Land. If you don't know where that is where Morocco is right now. But it was like a different country before. But I'm based in Barcelona. As I come from a Muslim family, my perspective of seeing the animals is different than what I think right now. I always been with animals. I've always lived with animals when I was in Morocco. I was going twice a year on vacation, and I used to have animals on my garden, and I used to see how my parents kill the animals, and yeah, in different times a year. And I remember I was with my friends, with my cousins there, and we were used to be with the animals and interact with them and live with them as family. But in a certain time, they used to kill them. I didn't understand why. I was just following what my family said to me, that animals were here for us. Step by step, I started growing, and without social media, I wouldn't be here right now. I want to bring the topic of social media because for me it's really, really important. With social media, I wouldn't be vegan, and I wouldn't be here speaking to you right now. 4 years ago, I was that typical 12-year-old kid, obsessed and addict to computers and phones and social media, and I was at my room. When I was a kid, I used to watch videos of animals fighting. I don't know how, enjoyed it. I used to watch videos of wild animals fighting, of dogs fighting, and I don't know how and why I used to enjoy it. And I don't know, again, how and why YouTube recommended to me to watch a speech called The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear by Gary Rofsky. And I was, the best speech you'll ever hear. Who this guy thinks he is? 18 minutes later, I took the best decision of my life, which is going vegan. And without that speech, without social media, I wouldn't be right now doing what I do for the animals and speaking to you. That's why I want to focus a lot in this workshop about social media, because we should focus more, because maybe that day other people like me saw the speech, and other people like me of my age changed their mentality and changed their lives. And we should focus more on social media, because young people are the ones that use social media. My activism story is a bit different. I went active thanks to one of my biggest inspirations in life and one of my big heroes, which is my mother. My mother, when she was young, she didn't have an easy life, not at all. When she was at university, she used to be sort of a full-time feminist activist, even in Morocco. And she used to fight every single day for the rights of women, for the rights of citizens, for the rights of students, because it wasn't difficult, it wasn't easy at all. The years that she passed in university, she used to be every single day protesting, doing direct action, and hard stuff that it's difficult to mention here. When she finished university, she was forced to become a fugitive for 2 years, because the monarchy was looking for her, for starting a whole revolution and for fighting for women, because women in Morocco and Africa in general have always been oppressed, and she didn't want to be oppressed, so she said, no more. After 2 years, the government and the army caught her, and she was at prison. She spent in prison many days, and sadly she was tortured, she was abused, burned, hanged, humiliated, everything you can imagine, they made it to her, because they knew that she was powerful and that she was going to change something in Morocco, and she did it. And when I told my mother that night that I was going vegan, she told me some words that changed totally my perspective. She told me that it was fantastic that I was going vegan and that I wasn't going to participate in the things that I believe was wrong. But she told me that non-participating in something that was wrong is not enough, and that non-being active and non-fighting against what you think is wrong is being complice and approving of what you think is wrong. And that day, my mother told me, you have to be active. You don't have to stay in your bed, living a happy life, knowing that there's animals right there suffering, even though she wasn't vegan. Now she's vegan. It took me 2 years, it wasn't easy. But that day, everything changed. And I was a kid, I was 12 years old. I didn't know what I was doing. I was going to supermarkets, taking permanent markers and going to the walls and writing meat is murder, dairy is rape, going to butcheries and spray painting, go vegan. I was a kid, I didn't know what to do. And one day again, I was in Facebook. I was going to participate in a fair protest by one of the biggest animal rights organizations in Spain. But sadly, because of rain, that protest was cancelled. And I don't know how and why again, Facebook and social media recommended to me to go to an outreach event. I was, what's this? Is there more people like me? I'm not the only one here in this town crazy, because I was in a small town. I was like, is it real? There's people doing this like me. And I decided to go, and that day, when I went to the outreach event, I started being a street activist in more public way. I started to publish stuff on Instagram, social media. I started to go to vigils, and step by step, I started organizing events. Some months ago, I decided to become a safe movement organizer, starting my local chapter in my town, Mataró, which is pretty much 30 kilometers from Barcelona. I started different chapters of different organizations, like the National Animal Rights Day. We started last June in Barcelona, 269 Life Catalonia. That was already there, but I decided to help them, and now I'm a co-organizer with 2 other magnificent activists from Barcelona. And step by step, my activism journey has grown up. Right now, I focus more on doing rescues and investigations, because for me, saving the animals and seeing their misery and their pain is really powerful, and share that stories with other people is really, really powerful for me. And that's one of my main activisms that I do right now. About social media, I should have put this before. In the past 3 years, veganism has grown really, really fast. I remember when I was vegan, when I went vegan 4 years ago, I was going to supermarkets and asking about tofu. They were like, what the fuck is tofu? What's seitan? What's agave? And I was like, yeah, vegan food. I was like, vegan food, what's vegan? Right now, some weeks ago, I was in the UK, and I was in the middle of nowhere, in a petrol station, in the middle of nowhere, and they had 5 vegan options. And right now, in 2016, in the UK, we had 540k vegans, and today we have 3.5 million vegans. And imagine how many we'll have in 10 years. This is growing really fast, and mostly thanks to social media, mostly thanks to the work of all the people that is focusing their energy on social media. That's what I want to bring to that point. We should focus all our energy and use social media in a more effective and positive way to change the world, and to create more vegans, to educate more people. But social media not always is good. Social media, carnism and speciesism are using social media to change the minds and to change the mentality of those who are going to be the future. We have to remember always that when we do activism and we try to veganize people and try to change the future for the animals, we have to change the future of the ones that are going to be the future. We have to try to veganize and try to educate those who are going to be changing the world in some years. So that's how carnism and speciesism are right now using social media, advertisements, are using TV celebrities to change the mind of people. This is how they do it. They take celebrities, they take famous people, they take money, they take advertisements, they go to the streets, they go to TV, and everywhere you look, there's something about speciesism. How many times have you seen a tofu advertisement with Beyonce in the TV? Never. How many times have you seen a vegan burger with Britney Spears? Never. Because they have the money, they have the power to do that. And they want to do that because they know that there's millions of young people that are obsessed with Britney Spears. And they're going to buy that burger if they see that Britney Spears is eating it. They're going to buy that burger if you see that the actress, who I don't know who is eating that Burger King burger. That's how they do it. They use advertisements. If you go to Instagram, even in my Instagram, I receive McDonald's advertisements. They don't get it. I'm vegan. And everywhere you look, there's advertisements, sponsored advertisements. They have the money. They're using their money to change the mentality of people. They're normalizing carnism. That's what we should do. We should normalize veganism. That's the way to create a vegan world. And if they're normalizing going to McDonald's 2 times per week, if they're normalizing eating meat as a healthy way, what the young people, they're going to think that that's right. If they see that everyone's doing it, that's right. They're using different types of advertisement, using their money, using everything they have to change the mentality of people, to change the future of the people. They're normalizing that. Even in the LG advertisement, you see meat. What's the next? This, for example, was seen in a American public high school last year in a health class. What are going to think? The people that is in that class, young people, if they see Taylor Swift and Superman thinking that milk is healthy, thinking that milk will make you be stronger, thinking that milk going to make you healthier, what's the future of that people? They're going to think that dairy is okay. They don't care about ethics. If they see Taylor Swift, if they see that Taylor Swift is saying that dairy is okay, what's the next? We have to think on the future. We have to think in what future do we want to build. We have to think in those who are going to be the future, to change the future that we want. We have to be the change that we want to see. This, for example, here is a map that is showing the quantity of higher percentage of young people in the planet. We see that in Africa, there's more young people than old people, adult people, in the total of population. In Central America, in Asia, we see all that. What if we try to change the future of that young people? That young people are going to be the future in some point. That young people are going to be the next generation. And step by step, we're going to be building a vegan world. Right now, I'm sure that I'm not the only one. We're all saying we're going in a vegan world. The world's going vegan. But we have to remember that just in like modern countries, that's happening. I've been in Morocco last year. I remember my friends didn't even know the word vegan. They knew what was a vegetarian. And in Morocco, it's full of it's full of young people. We have to try, and we have to put all our energy to try to educate those who are going to be the future. Right now, we have millions of young people who don't know about veganism, who don't know about ethics. They just think it's right because their family is doing it. They just think it's right eating meat and killing animals because their religion is saying that. One day, I remember I was in philosophy class, and my teacher told me this, because that way I was really sad, I don't know why, and he told me this: a lost generation of young people means a lost generation of adults who will later have children, and will be another generation of young people, and so routinely. But what if we try to change that sentence and create a new generation of young vegans that when they become adults, they will have children, and those children will also be vegan. And this is how we will be creating a new demographic circle focused moving towards veganism. We have to build that. That's the way to create a vegan future. That's the way to create a vegan world. Because millions of young people right now maybe are not watching this. Maybe right now they're watching TV, watching a TV show, or a reality show. We're sponsored by Burger King. We're there right now seeing Britney Spears, Beyonce, Cardi B eating meat. They know that that's normal because they see their idols doing that. And this happened, for example, some weeks ago. I was in Germany, and I follow one of the biggest rappers right now, who is called Cardi B, and she's not vegan. She was pregnant, and she was vegan when she was pregnant. And one day she posted this Instagram story saying that vegan tacos were good and she was trying vegan tacos. I remember that day I went to her last post and there was thousands of people talking about veganism. Thousands of people, men talking and saying the word vegan. Thousands of people asking, are you vegan? Is veganism healthy? Why are you vegan when you're pregnant? Thousands of people talking and asking about veganism. I'm sure that there's going to be people that are not going to go vegan with that post. Of course not. But those people are going to have the word vegan in their minds, and those people are going to later and later see more things about veganism. Just because Cardi B, she posted a 5-second video about tacos, about vegan tacos. Just because one person that has millions of followers posted that. Imagine how powerful if other celebrities and other famous people do that with veganism. How powerful, and what future we're going to build with that. We have to try to influence young people using celebrities, using advertisements. I said, we have to do it, because that's the only way to build a new future. We have to focus on our future. We have to focus on new generations. There's a lot of young people here. You are the future. You are the change. You are the future. And there's a lot of parents here. Focus on your children. Focus on veganizing their friends and their family, and going and speaking with their parents, and try to veganize their children and normalize veganism. Right now, some days ago, I saw this article of The Guardian that was saying the rise of vegan teenagers. Right now, there's more people into veganism because Instagram. There's tons of vegan hashtags, there's tons of new vegan people thanks to Instagram. I received lots of messages of my friends when I was in kindergarten saying me, what are you doing is awesome. I remember that you were eating McDonald's with me every weekend, and you're going to factory farms and rescuing chickens. Instagram right now is one of the biggest platforms to promote veganism and to promote activism. That's the way we should do it. That's the way we should promote people that could maybe thought about veganism, could maybe think about going vegan, just because one post. I went vegan thanks to social media. I went public street activist thanks to social media. And not just me, probably a lot of people that here went vegan thanks to one post they saw, one photo they saw on Instagram, one video they saw on YouTube. Small steps can create a big difference. And right now, that's happening. The Guardian says that, not me. But veganism is growing, and we have to believe that, and we have to put all our effort. We have to use all the tools we have. The system is not going to promote us. The system is going to promote McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, KFC, because they get money from them. The system gave us just one more option: promote ourselves, using the ways we have to promote ourselves. And we should do that. We should use all our energy to try to change those who are going to be the future. We have to build the future that we want to see. For example, the ISIS in Syria is taking young people to their training camps to make them see that it's okay killing people in the name of religion. What future is the ISIS building for those young people? They're taking 6, 7, 9, 10-year-old guys and girls to train them to kill people without thinking that that's okay. What future? They're smart. They're really clever. They know what they're doing. They're taking young people to change their future. Those kids, sadly, in the future, they're going to think that it's okay killing millions of people, putting a bomb in the middle of a supermarket. They're going to think that that's okay. Because when they were kids, they've seen people that was older than them saying that that was okay. We have to use those tools to try to change the ones that are small and that are kids, and those who are later are going to be the next generations. Because if those kids that right now, imagine all the kids that right now are in schools, right now are on vacation or are studying school right now, imagine if they all go vegan. the other new generation is also going to be vegan. Because if the big ones, if the older ones are vegan, they're going to think that it's normal. We have to normalize veganism. That's the only way to create a vegan future. Being active as a teenager is not easy at all. You have all your family criticizing you if they're not vegans. In my case, my family, as I said, I come from a Muslim family. They once a year there's one celebration that I don't know how to call it. The literal translation will be the Fest of the Lamb. People celebrating the killing and the massacre of millions of baby lambs every year. People literally being happy because one person is killing a baby lamb for them to eat it. People celebrating the massacre and the death of a baby lamb. And I used to be like that. I used to be in Morocco every summer with my family and enjoy that. And being happy for that. And being eating and drink with my family in the table and enjoying and thanking to God that we have that baby lamb dead in our table. What future those kids are going to think that, what future do you think that those kids are going to see? They're going to think that that's okay. When they have children, they're going to make the same thing. We have to change the future of those people. And I remember that every year I was there, every year that day, I didn't want to see how my father killed the baby lamb. I was hiding myself in the window. I was looking to that. I knew that that was wrong because I used to live with that baby lamb. I used to spend weeks with her. I used to have her in my garden, play with her, shower her. I loved her, but I don't know how. I used to justify the massacre of that baby. And every year I was at the window with my mother. She was like, "It's okay. Don't look at it if you don't like it. Just your father is doing it. You should accept it." But in a certain way, I knew that that was wrong. I knew that that baby lamb was innocent. And one day, my father, when I was a bit older, I was 10 years old, I remember, he asked me if I wanted to help him killing that lamb. And I said yes. And that day, it was 2 o'clock, I went to the garden, I held the head of that lamb looking at her eyes when my father was cutting her throat. And I knew that that was wrong. And right now, I feel really ashamed of myself of doing that. But I didn't know what I was doing. And right now there's probably my cousins and my family that next summer they're going to do that. That some months ago they did that. Because they don't know. They just simply don't know. And they think that if their parents are doing that, that's okay. What future my cousins are going to have if next summer they're going to killing a lamb? They're not going to have any vegan future. Because we think that we're creating a vegan future, but just here. Not in South Africa, not in Africa or North Africa, not in Asia, not in South America. We have to focus on those who are going to be the future. And next summer, I'm going to go to my country. I'm going to try to stop them from killing the baby lamb. But I'm not sure if I'm going to get that. Because my cousins are just so brainwashed that they think that if God says that killing a baby lamb is okay, they have to. They're not going to be good Muslims if they don't kill that baby lamb. It's just horrible. And I was talking that being an activist, being a teenager, being a kid is not easy. If you're in high school, all your friends are going to criticize you. All your teachers are going to criticize you. Look at Massin, look at that guy that's going every Sunday at 12 o'clock to a vigil in the middle of nowhere with some crazy people. Going there and stopping a truck, risking my life for seeing pigs for 2 minutes. You have the pressure of your family. My family, as I said, I come from a Muslim family, but they all work in the fishing industry. They all are right now in Barcelona killing thousands and millions of innocent fishes. And I remember when I went active, we had a family dinner, and I explained to them. I was happy. I was like, hey, yesterday I went to my first outreach event, and I met people like me that were like criticizing me. I was happy. I was a kid happy for trying to help the animals, and they were criticizing me for trying to do something that I believe was wrong, for trying to fight against something that I believe was wrong. When you're a kid, you have all types of pressure, all types of criticism on your back, but as I said, we have to focus more on them. Right now, we see a lot of activists, of young activists, of kid activists that are right there. In the March of London, there was an amazing, beautiful kid talking about animal liberation, talking about the truth. Imagine how many kids she was inspiring that day. Imagine how millions of people are going to see that speech. Imagine how many people are going to see her. That's the way that we're going to build a new future. That's the way that we are going to build new kids activists. Everyone loves kids. Imagine if they see kids holding a sign that saying meat is murder. This is how step by step, with small steps, we're going to be changing the future of the next generations. And I'm going to tell a story again. I remember I was 7 days ago in the UK. I was doing a rescue. And I normally never cry when I'm doing rescues. I feel a bit nervous when I'm going to a new farm that I've never been before. But that day, it was a normal day. We went to the farm, we investigated the farm. We were just for filming. I was there, I was alone in that barn in that moment, and I was filming all the animals. I was filming the conditions of the animals. And kitchens are really scared normally of people when you go to rescue them in factory farms. It was a broiler farm. It was an RSPCA approved broiler farm. And when I was filming, one of the baby chicks, she came to me, she came to my phone. You can see her. She came to me. She came literally to my camera, and when I uploaded down Insta stories and I watched later, I was crying because I saw her and I couldn't resist, and I took her with me. I took her to the car, and 10 minutes later I went back and took 33 more of her brothers and sisters. She's called Cleopatra in honor of all the powerful women in history that have been resisting and fighting for the rights of their sisters. And right now she's living free and happy on a sanctuary in the UK. But it's important for me when I go to farms, when I go to factory farms and slaughterhouses, because for me it's really powerful seeing their misery, seeing their pain, and watching them when they're there. And after that, taking them to a sanctuary for me is really powerful. And I think that everyone should do that. I receive lots of messages of people telling me, I could never go to a vigil. I could never attend to a vigil, seeing that those animals, 4 hours after I've been there, they're going to be killed. But it's important to do that and to feel their misery and their pain, their suffering, to look at their eyes and know that they know that you're there for them. They know that we're there for them. They know that we're good people, that we are there to save them, that we're there to fight for them. Even though it's difficult to save 30,000 chickens, that day I saved 33, and they knew when I came back after taking Cleopatra, they knew that I was there saving them. It's important to see their misery. It's important to feel their pain. And we have to take that decision. Are we going to stay in our homes watching Netflix? Or we're going to fight for them on the streets? Are we going to stay in our homes, enjoying time with our family and friends, or we're going to fight for them every day? Because they deserve that we fight for them. And nowadays, there's a lot of conflict in activism, sort of. But we have to forget everything we do, apart from activism, and we have to do what we love. We have to do what we think is right. And if you're in a job and you're in an office and you don't enjoy your job, get the fuck out of there. Do what you want. Do what you love. You just have one life, and the life is really, really short. Do what you want, and if what you want is fight for animal liberation and get animals out of factory farms, get out of your home and go. It doesn't matter where you are, what time is it. It doesn't matter if you're a woman, man, black, white, gay, straight. Doesn't matter. Just fight for what you want. Fight for what you believe is right. Fight for what you think it's not right. And we have to do that. We just have one life. I remember you, we just have one life. And right now, my friends are at school. And I'm here doing this because I didn't want to. I dropped out of school, and I have a lot of criticism for that. But I couldn't be, I was at school, and I was thinking that every second, 3,000 animals are dying. 3,000 animals every single second. I couldn't stay in my home. I couldn't stay in my home doing homework, knowing that I could be at the vigil, looking at those animals' eyes, or I could be in a farm, or I could be in a protest, or I could be in a march. Do what you want, do what you believe is right, do what you believe you have to do. You just have one life, and do what you love. If you want to fight for animals, do it. Now, go out there and fight for them. You just have one life. You have to enjoy it and spend your time doing what you want. And being active is one of the best ways to save animals. Because I'm sure that there's a lot of vegans here. Maybe not all of you guys are vegan. Not all of you guys may be active. But we should do it. And activism doesn't mean going to streets and shouting and going to vigils. You can be active being a chef. How important is the cooking industry in the vegan movement? How many people have becoming vegan for food, for the taste, because they know that they don't have to kill an animal to feel the taste of a burger. You can be active being a bus driver. You can play Gary's speech all the time in the bus. You can... there's tons of ways. Look the way that you feel more comfortable at and do it. Gary. But just do it. Just get out of there and fight for the animals. And the industry, don't be scared of the industry. They are the ones that have to be scared of us. Because the only way that right now they know of getting money from is killing animals and using animals. But they know that we're going to kill them. Instead of hunt the hunters, hunt the enemy. They know that we're going to do a change, that we're going to be the change. Be the change you want to see. Be the change you want to build, be the future you want to see. And do it. And right now there's thousands and millions of animals locked in barns, locked in factory farms, or on the way to a slaughterhouse. We are the ones who have the power. The Jewish Holocaust killed around 7 million Jewish people. The animal Holocaust kills 3,000 per second. 3,000 per second. Think about that number. Every second, 3,000. Every second. Plus marine animals. And we are the ones who have to change that. Because why does that industry exist? Because we pay for them. We give them money. And if we stop giving our money, we're the ones who have the power. And we are the ones who have to fight for them. Some weeks ago, that was London. 10,000 people marching for animal rights. How many non-vegans saw that march? How many non-vegans thought about, wow, this is a thing? It's not that they're for vegans. There's millions of vegans out there fighting for animals. And maybe that day, someone was just going to shopping and they saw us marching. And maybe they thought about veganism. Maybe they thought that veganism was a thing, that veganism was something right. And maybe they went vegan after that march. Maybe they went to a computer and looked at Gary's speech and went vegan. But we have to change the future. We have to build a new future. And the key for building that future is young people. Remember that. Go to young people, veganize young people, build a new future, and fight for the animals. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please give a like and subscribe to the channel to know more about activism, about animal rights.